Hey everyone, welcome. This is Brittany with Hope Tech, and this is lesson number 9, level 3, part 2. To prep for today, go ahead and have ReadyMaker logged in on your device that you're going to use for class. And we're going to do a ReadyMaker tutorial. We'll have 2 screenshots today. Here's our values: be bold, encourage, and explore. If you enjoyed today's video, you can like and subscribe down below. You can also sign up for our newsletter at hopenlc.org. Task for today, in ReadyMaker, we're gonna make a moving platform, which we haven't done yet, so it's gonna be fun. We're gonna add an enemy that's gonna chase us around. We'll add you lose or game over. That's gonna happen either if the enemy touches us, collides with us, or if we do that fall and pit event and reload. So we're gonna put in a timer for that as well. We're gonna edit that first event that we did last week, and we are gonna do 2 new events and the 2 screenshots. So our screenshots are gonna be the events that we make, the new ones. And when you do your screenshot, just making sure part of each event is in the picture. It doesn't have to be the whole events. Sometimes they don't fit on the screen very well. So just as long as we can see part of those 2 events, and then show you how to do the, take a picture of the platform bullet behavior. It's within the game scene. So let's go ahead and head on over to ReadyMaker. So I have level 3 open here. Last week we put in our character, we gave him behaviors to jump and to move left and right. We turned physics on. We made sure mass stayed at 1, drag was about 10, angular drag about 3. We locked our rotation. If you don't lock your rotation, they just bounce around and spin. If you want to do that at school, you can do that. And we made sure gravity was on, put in our platforms, and we put in a background. And we did write an event here that when our character is below -2 in the coordinate system, so it's a little bit below the screen that we're playing on, then it restarts the scene. So that way, let me play here. If I fall through, I kind of made this for today, but if I were to fall, it starts over. Okay. So for today, we're going to go ahead and make a moving platform. So if you're doing this at home, feel free to pause. I just kind of made my platforms to just build out a moving platform today. I'm going to use this one. So go ahead and feel free to build out your game a little bit, make some space for a platform. They're just going to bump back and forth between 2 objects that we put in. So you can feel free to just go ahead and set up for that now. Okay, so you can do this with more than 1 platform if you want. I'm going to do just 1 platform today. So I have this ice shelf platform. The way that we're going to make it move back and forth is with a behavior. So you're going to click on behavior, 3rd button down. When you click on your platform, you're going to click that green add behavior button, and there's going to be bullet. So a bullet, it's not like shooting or anything like that. It's just for anything that moves in your game. I'm going to X out of this menu on the right. I'm going to turn active on. We're going to turn speed. That might be too slow. Maybe about 0.45. We'll see. We want direction to be 0. If you want it to go, I'm making mine go left to right. You can also make it go up and down if you want. I'm not going to accelerate. I'm going to turn bounce on. So that way it can bounce back and forth between the objects that I put in there for it to ricochet off of. So right now, if you turn it on, unless there's something in the way, it's just going to kind of float off the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some objects for it to bounce in between. So I'm going to go into artwork here. I think there's some things here in the beginning. I'll use this abstract pink on one side. I'll use abstract yellow. It really looks green. I don't know. I'll put that on the other. I'm going to make these a lot smaller. I'm going to do that. You can either do that with the arrows. They're kind of hard to use though. If you go to appearance, up near the top, underneath where it says swap visual, there's a dimensions tab. The first one is for the size. So right now it's at 1.14. I'm going to try 0.5, not 5. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's try 0.3. There we go. I think something kind of like that. I'm going to do the same with my other object. Nice. So these are going to work kind of like platforms. Maybe I'll put this one under here. Put this one here. Let's see how that looks. Let's test this out. There's one thing we're going to do, because right now, if I stand on the platform, gravity is just pulling him down. Oh, and there he goes. So one way we can fix that is you select your platform, so that way your character doesn't push it down and then it goes outside of those objects that are keeping it within that space. You go to physics and turn physics on just for this one platform. And so just make sure you have that one platform selected. You're going to turn physics on. Physics is on the left, second one down. We are going to turn gravity off. If we leave gravity on, it'll just fall. And I'm going to lock the Y position. Y is going left to right. X is going up and down. I hope I have that right. I think I have that right. So that way, when I stand on it, because this position is locked going back and forth, it will stay right on that coordinate. Yeah, that's why. So it'll keep it there, and I can't make it float down anymore. So let's go ahead and try that out. If you are going up and down and you don't want it to be able to move back and forth, if you have your platform going this way, you can lock the X position and it would work for that. Let's test it. Testing time. Oh, I almost just flew off into oblivion there. Sweet, it works. All right, so let's go ahead and those of you who've been here for a while know we do an enemy that chases after you. And if you're new, welcome to adding an enemy. So I'm going to find an enemy to chase Cupcake Carl, and that's an artwork again. Move this little window over. It's in my way. Put it there. Okay. Let me find some, maybe do an alien. This blue alien guy. Let me see if there's any other aliens. I like the blue one. So I'm going to choose this blue alien. He's going to be my enemy. And the way this is going to work is he's going to chase after me. And if he touches me, then it's game over and it restarts the scene. So, but we need to make him chase us, because right now there's nothing happening. So let's go ahead and add this behavior. I'm going to click on behavior, add behavior. And then it's going to be the move towards behavior. It's like two guys running towards each other, and like the ground, it shows the ground. So I'm going to click that, drag it over and drop it over to the left. Active on object Cupcake Carl. So this way, object it's chasing basically. Movement towards all directions. Yep. And the other thing to do is go into appearance and turn solid off. When we turn solid off, it makes sure that your enemy can go through all the platforms and things. You don't have to do it that way. If you want them to get stuck on platforms and things like that, that totally works. Other thing, if you do want to do that, you can turn the collider into a circle. Kind of makes it a little cleaner, so it doesn't, the corners don't get stuck on things, and then it just like kind of, the enemy just kind of sits there and freaks out. That way it can kind of roll off things and continue to go on its way to try to destroy your face. So I'm going to turn that speed down. That's fast. That's fast, man. I'm not going to make it. So I think that's in the behavior. Yeah, speed is 0.5. I think I'll do 0.44. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. So I'll have to build up my game more so that way I have more room to run away from them. All right, so let's make it so that if this guy touches us, it restarts the scene. Actually, let's go ahead and put in a couple more things, and then we're going to work on these events. So the first thing is going to be the you lose or game over. So if you have access to artwork, you can, there's an image that says you lose. If you go in interface and text, you can also select a text box. I'm gonna do a text box here. I'm gonna click on my text box. You can do either one. In appearance for text box, I'm gonna make solid off. Otherwise it makes it a platform. So this is if you use a text box or the you lose image. So this will be pretty much the same for most of it. So solid off, collider not active. And I'm gonna just put game over here. Make it bigger, maybe. Let me turn my font size. Let's see what 20 looks like. Let's see what 30 looks like. There we go. I like that. The other thing that's here, if you do a text box, is there's these two colors. The first color is a gradient, which means it starts in one color and will gradually mix two colors together and then turn into the other color. So this first color is the top color. Do something different. Yeah, there we go. The second color is the bottom. There we go. You can do that. The other thing we'll do in here is we will set this hidden. So that, because right now, if we just play our game, it says game over, even though our game's not over yet. So if you select that text box or that image that says you lose, we can set it hidden. And then we're just gonna have to, one of the events we're gonna write is tell it when, like if this guy hits me right now, game over should start. And then we're gonna have a timer where game over will be shown and then it'll start our level over again. So we need a timer. We need a timer, you guys. Hit the plus sign, interface and text. There's a timer on the bottom right. It looks like a little thumb stopwatch thingy. I'm just gonna drag that in. You can take it off the screen. I'm doing a lot today, doing so much. So for this, we want to set active off as well. There it is near the bottom. There's the colors, active off. It's under the collider options. So you'll see at the top, there's like the timer, the dimensions, materials, and then you'll see all this collider, collider active, edit collider, show collider, and then active. So it's on and we're gonna turn it off. The reason is because active means that as soon as you start playing, the timer starts counting. And what we are gonna write, it'll make more sense in a second. I just wanna explain. We're gonna turn the timer on either if we fall off the screen and get past -2 on our screen here, or if the enemy hits us. We're gonna have the timer go for a certain amount of seconds and have game over come up. Otherwise, if we just have it restart the scene, you won't see game over, it'll just restart. So we'll have game over come on, set the timer on. The timer will go for 3 seconds or whatever we decide to do, and then it'll restart the scene. So now we're ready. Now we put all these things in to start making them work, putting everything together. Okay, so let's go into our events. So that's the stop light on the right in between the plus sign and the gear. We're gonna change event number 1. So we're gonna make it so when Cupcake Carl, or whoever your player hero character is, when they are below -2 in the coordinates, so they're falling, instead of restarting the scene, we're gonna have game over pop up. So we're gonna change this whole second line, the do line. So if y'all remember the events, it's the code, it says programming, our game. So the when line is like when a certain event happens, what's the effect? What are we making happen because of that? Because Cupcake Carl fell off the screen, game over is gonna pop up. And this is gonna end up being a couple of lines. So we have some code that's a little bit longer today. And on the right here, there's the plus signs. We're gonna use that to add more lines. So let's change the second line from system restart scene. And you can just click on these boxes and then you'll be able to select different things to put in them. You don't have to clear this out or anything. So click on system, and I'm gonna select my timer. And then timer label. Set active will be the third block, and yes, thumbs up is the fourth. So what this says is that when we fall down, the timer starts. All right, so we're on the do line, that second line that we have, we're gonna hit the plus sign that's next to it on the right. That brings a third line up. And with that, we're gonna make, for me, it's like my text box, it says game over. Appearance, set hidden, and no. So that means it's gonna appear. So let's check it out. You know what? I'm making it easy on myself. I'm just gonna, instead of having to go really far away, I'm just gonna make it so I can just jump right away. There it is. But now it doesn't restart. So we are gonna write an event. Well, actually, let's go ahead and make it first. This is like what Isaiah's been talking to me about loading order, about the order in which things load in our games. I think this might be part of it, so we're gonna do something a little different than I usually would. Let's go ahead and make it that when the enemy hits us, game over also pops up. And after that, we'll do a new event when the timer's been going a certain amount of time, then it'll restart the scene. So we're gonna do event number 2, and you can do that by either clicking new event up on the left. For me, I'm on a computer, or on the bottom, there's like a big button that says add new event, and it'll say event number 2. And on the one line, the very first line, we're gonna, for the very first box, you're gonna select your enemy. Second box will be sensing. It looks like a little guy with all these rings around his head. You can do collided with object or is touching object. Your player or your hero. So when these two touch or collide with each other, we're gonna make the timer, it's gonna be really similar to this first one actually. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna set the timer active and make that game over or that you lose image come up. And it can really, you don't have to do game over. You can have it say whatever you want. As long as it's appropriate. Don't be inappropriate, guys. So the second line is timer. Second box is timer label. Third is set active, and 4 is yes. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna hit that plus sign right next to that line, on that second line. And then the third line pops up in the very bottom, and I'm gonna do text box, appearance, set hidden, no. So it will not be hidden anymore. And so let's check it out, try it, and make sure it works. Let's wait for this alien to come get me. Okay, it's working. It's working. So let's do our third event. Just click new event here up on the left. Go ahead and hit that stoplight again. So this one's going to be when our timer has run a certain amount of time. It's going to restart the scene. This one's only 2 lines. So our object is going to be our timer, because this is what we're basing this off of when the timer reaches a certain amount of seconds. Second one will be timer label greater than, let's try 3. Try whatever you want. I think it's seconds. Second line will be system. System with the robot head. Restart scene. It's like the window with the circle arrow. That's it. So let's go ahead and test this out. My mouse got lost there for a second. Let's see. So chase me. There we go. And if you wanted to check this, you can bring this timer label and make it a different color so you can see it. You should be able to see it turn on. Make it white. When I fall or when the alien touches me, you'll see that timer turn on, and then at 3 seconds, it'll restart the scene. Sweet. So it's working. I don't know if I can get that timer back. There we go. See if I can take it back off. Let me get another color again so you can see it up there. If you have things that you don't, that function like this, like timers, and there's other things you can clone objects. There's lots of things you can do, have objects that move in and out of the screen. So yeah, you can, this is usable space outside of your scene that you can use for things like timers and things like that. So it's just something that's good to know. So let's go ahead and save our game. So you're gonna hit the gear, hit save, floppy disk down there. There's like a bar, it's on the left. And then 2 screenshots. So you're going to select your platform that moves and hit behavior. And so that just shows the bold behavior on that platform. So you're going to take a screenshot of this, just showing that you do have a platform that does indeed move in your game. It's just one of the things we want you guys to add. The other thing is click on the events, something that shows part of event number 2 and part of event number 3. Just with the timer labels and things. It can be, yeah, just parts of it. Mine doesn't, I can't see the whole thing. So just kind of split in half like that. And those are your 2 things to turn in for this week. And next week, we're going to finish up this level, and then we're going to start our last level, level 4. So hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.